Last week, Sony had their PlayStation Showcase, which was just alright. I personally had my expectations in check. Meanwhile, other people thought we were getting Last of Us Part 3, Ghost of Tsushima 2, GTA 6, Persona 6, Resident Evil 9, even though we just got the Resident Evil 4 remake. But bottom line is, people had absurdly high expectations for this showcase, and at that point, who's at fault for your disappointment? You for having those absurdly high expectations, or Sony for not meeting those absurdly high expectations? I'll let you answer that. I was content enough with the Spider-Man 2 gameplay, but there was one announcement that bummed me out. Alan Wake 2 getting a digital-only release. I never played the first Alan Wake game, not yet at least. I have some interest in playing the first Alan Wake game because it's a horror game, and I really love horror games. Resident Evil is my favorite video game franchise of all time. So if I play the first Alan Wake game and I end up really liking it and I want to play the sequel, I'm a little disappointed that I won't be able to buy the sequel physically. And of course, I understand why the developers are doing this. Most people buy their games digitally these days, because of the convenience. When given the option between going to a store and buying a game, or ordering a game online and waiting a few days for it to arrive, versus buying a game straight off your console and being able to play it right away when it finishes downloading, most people are going to pick the latter. But I still love having a physical game collection. When the Resident Evil 4 remake came out, I could have easily bought that game straight off my PS5 and played it the day it came out. But instead, I ordered it online, waited a few extra days for the game to arrive, because I really wanted to own that game physically. The original game is my favorite game of all time. Yes, even still with the remake out. And it was a really special experience when that package arrived, and I opened the package, and I was finally holding the game I was hyped for so long in my own hands. So yes, I could have bought the game digitally and played it on the day it launched, but that satisfaction I felt when the game arrived made waiting just a few extra days so worth it. And plus, the game came out on March 24th, a Friday. It arrived at my house on Monday the 27th, so it's not like it was even that long of a wait. Personal satisfaction aside, that's not the only reason why I still like buying games physically. I also don't want to be beholden to one storefront. If I had gotten the digital-only PS5, that would mean I would be limited to only being able to buy games off of the PlayStation Store. And that would mean I would only be beholden to the prices that Sony sets for games. There have been some PS4 games that I've had interest in playing, and I would check out the PlayStation Store to see how much they are in there, and they'd still be like $25, $30, and sometimes even $40, and I'd be like, fuck that, because these are games that are several years old at this point. And then I would go on eBay, and 9 times out of 10 the games would be significantly cheaper on there. I like being able to have options on where I can buy my games if I'm dissatisfied with the prices of one storefront. For example, in 2021, I wanted to play The Last of Us Part 2, and back then I think they were still selling the game for like $40 or some shit, and then I went on eBay, and I found someone selling a copy of the game for like $12. There are times on the PlayStation Store where a game is on a really good sale and I can't find a better price anywhere else, or a game I'm interested in playing is being offered free to me because I'm a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Of course, in those instances, I'll go digital. But as a whole, I still like having a collection of games that I can actually look at and hold in my hands, and for me, that's part of the experience. And again, for me, the experience just doesn't feel complete if I buy a game digitally. It's funny because I don't feel this way for any other medium. When it comes to movies and TV shows, I completely ditched shit like DVDs and Blu-rays a long time ago. Same thing with music. Music used to be my favorite form of media, and that was when I used to collect vinyl records, but now I'm content with just streaming songs through Apple Music. But I guess since video games have been my favorite form of media since 2020, owning games physically still has a special place in my heart. And I guess the GameCube collecting ignited that, because anytime a GameCube game I really wanted finally arrived at my house, opening up the package and finally holding that game in my hands was just such a special feeling, and I guess that carried over to PlayStation games. When it comes to newly released games, unless I don't have a choice, I'm getting that game physically. And when it comes to PS4 games that are several years old, unless I find a better deal on the PlayStation Store, I'm going to eBay and buying that game physically. It just bums me the fuck out that this is possibly the last console generation to have physical games. There's a digital-only PS5, More people are buying their games digitally than physically these days. Games like Alan Wake 2 are coming out digital only, which is another nail in the coffin for physical media in the gaming industry. But I've adapted with TV, movies, and music. I guess I'll just have to adapt when the video game industry finally abandons physical media when the time comes. But that doesn't mean I'll have to like it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.